Okay, we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this stream with Tinybird. Today, we're going to be talking about log analytics, everybody's favorite subject. I'm Al, and I've got Joe joining me. Joe, do you want to give yourself a quick intro?
Sure. Hey, everybody. How's it going? This is Joe Previtt here. A little bit about me. I'm a TypeScript engineer. I work for a company called Bankless Labs, which we have a product called Earnify, which helps you claim airdrops, crypto airdrops. On the side, I have a TypeScript course, which is at typescriptcourse.com. And yeah, I'm stoked to be here.
Awesome. Well, we're very excited to have you here. This is going to be a slightly different format to the live session than we normally do. So none of this has been rehearsed. We've done no prep for this. We are going to introduce Joe live to the Log Analytics Starter Kit that we launched a while back. Joe has not seen it before, never used it before, doesn't know anything about it. So I'm going to try and do my best to explain what it is and how we can use it and why it matters. And then I'm going to shut up and hand it over to Joe, and Joe is going to try and build something with it. So it'll be up to me to try and explain it effectively. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, this will be interesting. So if you haven't seen the Log Analytics Kit before, it's on GitHub. I could probably share a link to it in the chat at some point, which I will do. But it is a starter kit for building your own log analytics. So it includes a Tinybird data project, which is all of the SQL and analysis of a data stream, and publishes some API endpoints. And it is a React Next.js app with a Tremor dashboard to visualize a bunch of stuff about your logs. So we don't have to actually use the kit in this. I will leave it entirely up to you if you want to go and start with the kit and extend the kit, or if you want to build from scratch and go and do that. But I will give you an intro to what we mean by log analytics and what the purpose of it was. Okay.
Cool.
So when you're building an app, you're often using logs, right, to help you understand what's happening. So you've probably got a happy path in your app where you might track some info logs of just, I want to know when people do something in particular. You might have some warn messages when people use deprecated methods or something like that. And you've probably you're capturing some errors, right? When things go completely wrong, somebody goes down a bad path, you capture some error messages so that you know what happened. And in at least the olden days, and it still happens today, but the typical pattern is capturing a log and dumping it into a file, right? And then you have a virtual machine or a server somewhere, and you've got an agent running on it, and it's tailing a log file, and it will send that somewhere. It looks for new lines, sends it somewhere. And this is like unstructured logging, right? You're just dumping a big line of text out to a file, and at some point you're trying to do some text search over the top of it. So you're probably sending it to something like Elasticsearch or Datadog or whatever it is. You might be doing some parsing of the text line over the top, like grok and regex patterns, to try and parse things out, getting a date out of it and a level and a message and that kind of stuff. But especially in serverless environments, right, it gets a bit more complicated. There's no files to log into, there's no agents to run. So you can end up with platform specific logging, right? So if you're building an AWS, you're probably using something like CloudWatch, right? And I think everybody who's tried to build a serverless app in AWS has probably seen that CloudWatch is at the top of it's the top line item on their bill. If you're in Vercel, just added Vercel logs, which is another alternative. which, by the way, Vercel Logs is built on top of Tinybird, but it's doing something very similar. You do console.log and it comes out to Vercel Logs. It's still largely unstructured. You can do some text search over it, but for retention, they expect you to configure a log sync and send the logs somewhere else.
Got it.
So if you want something more flexible, so it's not just a text search and you don't just want like 3 out of the box charts, and you want to do something more structured, so it's not just dumping a log out to a file. You actually want to take some key value pairs and structure the data and capture quite a lot more in there, and something that works in a serverless environment, and is platform agnostic, right? So ideally you want to be able to reuse the same logging approach, whether you're in AWS Lambda or Azure Functions, Google Functions. Are they both called Functions? They're serverless ones?
I think so.
Vercel Functions and what's Cloudflare's? Cloudflare Workers, right?
Yeah.
So that is kind of the purpose of the log analytics starter kit, right? Is to show you how you can achieve those things. So you can capture logs inside the logic of your application. So if you've got an if condition where you're saying, hey, if this parameter is not null and has got the right type of value, hey, maybe I want to capture an info message to say that was good. And if it was null or the wrong type, you want to capture an error message and say, hey, I want to capture some details about that. And then package that into JSON, so not just dumping it out into a text file, just a big string out into a text file that you have to parse later, actually capturing it in a structured data format with a schema so that you can say, hey, I've got these fields and these values. And you can capture whatever you want inside it, right? So it's not just, hey, this error occurred, this is the date, this is the log level, and this is a message. It's, I can capture all of the contextual data with it, right? So if you're building a web app, you might capture the entire HTTP request.
Okay.
Right? Or if you're building a game, you might capture the player's game settings and the hardware info or whatever it is. And then when you want to send the logs, there's nothing more universal than a HTTP post request, right? So ideally, you don't want, you've got no agents, you've got no files. Do you really want to have, framework or language specific client libraries or SDKs? If you can just package it up as JSON and send it as an HTTP post request, it's going to work everywhere. So once you've got all of that, you don't just have a big block of indexed logs. You've got enriched, structured data about errors. And you don't just have to hunt down one specific error, but you can start to look for patterns across those errors. And you can show those patterns over time. You can see how they change over time, perhaps with releases. You can correlate occurrences of a particular type of error against specific context, right? So if you're building a web app, hey, do I get more occurrences of an error with specific HTTP referrers or specific user agents or viewports or browsers? Or if you're building a distributed database like we are, is it particular queries or particular infrastructure that's causing errors? Or if you're, again, building a game, is it PlayStation, Xbox, PC, or is it specific settings that the users configured, vsync, LOD, anti-aliasing, quality settings, whatever it is, right?
Right.
And then once you've got all of that, you can start to identify trends and you can start to be proactive, right? So you don't just wait for a user to complain and say, hey, this is the error I got. And then you go through all your text and all of your error messages, try to find that one specific error. You can start to say, look, we published a new release. Let's go and monitor the error rates. Let's see how those errors break down. Is the error rate increasing? Have we got lots of type A errors? Are they occurring more often in X context? And start to investigate it and proactively fix them. So that is hopefully a not too long-winded explanation of what we were getting at with the log analytics starter kit. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It looks like Peter. Yeah, it makes sense to me. It looks like Peter has a question in the chat. Do you set up index for this structured data so that searches or queries could be faster?
Yeah. So under the hood, Tinybird is built on ClickHouse. So you can use any of the features of ClickHouse under the hood with its like sorting keys to create indexes of that data so that you can efficiently search across that data.
Sweet. Cool. Yeah. I guess first quick question before we jump into code. So would this be like the equivalent of like build your own Sentry?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
That was
Cool.
kind of some of the inspiration.
Cool. That's the company I just joined. So Bankless Labs. We use Sentry on Earnify. We were just looking at logs at stand up this morning. So all of that, what you were saying all makes
Okay.
sense.
Very relevant.
Yes, exactly.
See, and now you're going to be able to go back to them and say, "Hey,
Let's build our own. Listen to this. We could build our own. Oh man. Okay, cool. So I'm just gonna switch over to the browser. Um, cool. So yeah, real quick, that's the company I work for, Bankless Labs. This is the product I work on, Earnify, if you're curious, earn.fi. Cool. I got the chat here. Cool. So log analytics. Yeah. So, okay. So here's the starter kit. So yeah, I think first things first is kind of, here's the starter kit. And kind of we'll go through this together, and like, I'll go back and forth between chat if they have questions, and then Al, if you have comments too. But yeah, so log analytics, you just gave us the high level overview, right? So analyzing logs, warnings, errors. You mentioned Tremor, which is that, right? Tremor, there we go. Tremor.so, the React library, which is like components for building dashboards. Cool. Okay, so start analyzing your logs. Okay, so we have an option to just deploy this project. This will automatically set up deploy the analytics dashboard. Okay, so we've kind of got two, right? So this is the data project, and this is the dashboard.
I am trying desperately to work out how I can make your screen the full one."
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll let you. Yeah, I'll keep talking while
You
you do
carry
that.
on, but if
Okay.
people see weird things happening with me popping up, that's just me not
Okay.
understanding
Cool.
how this works and trying to work this out.
Oh, for StreamYard. Okay. Cool. Cool. So yeah, let's see. Okay, so there's kind of like two pieces, right? Like, you know, again, comparing it to Sentry, right? Like you've got the Sentry SDK or CLI, which is where you import that into your project, and you're like, whatever, log this warning, log this error. So that's like part one. Part two is like the dashboard. So let's pull this up real quick just to see a demo. Okay, I need to get my Sentry token, or sorry, my Tinybird token. So let me switch screens. I'm just going to show you my face, and I'm going to come in, sign in to Tinybird. I think I created an account with GitHub. So I'll sign in, I'll grab my token, I'll add that in real quick off stream so nobody can see. We'll do US East because I'm in Arizona. Workspace.
Yeah, you can call it whatever you want. There is a little drop down when you create that workspace to select
Oh,
Log Analytics Kit.
okay, I'll do that. Cool, I'll create this and then I'll show you my screen in one sec. Well, I guess technically there's nothing secure yet, right? It'll hide the token if I go into my settings. Okay.
Yeah.
Auth tokens. Okay, let me come back, grab an auth token. Actually, I guess I could copy it on stream. You wouldn't be able to see. Well, no, you
You'll
will.
be able to see it when you paste it into
Yeah.
the.
Okay, never mind.
But they'll only see half of it.
Okay.
So they won't have the whole thing.
Okay. Oh, wait. Oh, because it's in the URL.
Yeah. That's okay.
Okay, that's fine.
Don't worry.
I mean,
We can invalidate tokens. You'll
cool,
be
cool,
fine.
cool. All right, let's do generate data. If I hit, will that start playing data?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, so this
You'll have
is the
to
basic
you'll have to
dashboard.
change the date range for it to.
Oh, okay. It's 30 months, or sorry, 30 days, 12 months. This,
Ah,
what is this 10?
is your workspace on the US?
Yes.
Okay. If you hit that pause,
Okay.
and then in the little cog for the generate data, if you change that second box and you put UI dot and then US dash east dot.
Like that.
Yeah. And then you can hit the play again.
Okay.
And now that should, in theory, start sending some data. So if you
Cool.
try changing the date range again, just so that it reruns the queries,
Let's
you can get
do
some data.
30 days. Let's try 12 months.
See, this is the thing with when I build these things. I'm in the EU, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
build it against the EU, and I don't test it on the US.
Well, I'm happy to change it. I mean, if I, can I
Uh,
change? Yeah.
oh, hold on. Change that UI.US East to
Uh,
API.US East.
that.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then hit pause and hit play.
Okay. Okay.
Frustrating. That's just the data generator.
Okay. Okay. Could it be blocked maybe?
Oh no, if you got the dev
No.
tools, yeah,
403.
if you hit play
Okay.
with the dev tools open,
Wonder why are we getting a 403?
which token did you copy?
This one.
Your
Admin
admin
token?
token.
Is that the right one?
Yeah, that should work.
Or user token? No. Okay. Admin
Your
token.
admin token should work fine.
Okay. Well,
Well,
we're
that's the so the
debugging
data
live.
generator is just a way to generate some fake
Cool.
logs to a
Oh,
schema,
wow.
just so that you've got some synthetic jet data to play with. So it's just kind of there as a toy.
Cool. Okay.
So we can carry on and just generate some actual data and skip the data generator, which I'll go and fix.
Cool. Let's do that. Cool. So, okay, but we have an idea. I mean, really the purpose was like, here's what your dashboard could look like. Cool. So add your logging code. So this is how we would send the logs. Let's see, send events. You got your headers with their token here, URL. Right. Okay. That's the one that you were telling me about. Fetch body. Okay. Send events. Oh, nice. Okay. This is just like some general data. Adding the date. Oh, I see. Okay. So you're just adding a date, like ISO string to each. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So this is just an example of the sending data is just some JSON and a standard HTTP post, right? So if you're in JavaScript, you can just use fetch, and if you're in Python, you can use requests library and just send a post. There's no SDK or client library or anything that you have to learn some sort of custom API for. It's literally just posts in JSON.
Nice. Okay. Sweet. Cool. Cool. So okay, so let's deploy the project. So let's see what.
Yeah. So when you hit that deploy button, that will take
Yeah.
you to the Tinybird UI and go
Okay.
through that same deploy flow that you basically just went through.
Okay, so we'll skip that.
But feel free to create another one and we can show.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Install template, deploy the log analytics dashboard to Vercel. So let's try that. This is on my hobby account. Create a GitHub repo. We'll make it public so we can link it. That's fine, right? Yeah, there's no, okay.
Yeah, either way is fine.
Cool. So we'll create that. Will this show? Yeah, so okay. Give me one sec. I can use the token that I had before, that admin one.
So if you go back into the Tinybird UI and
Okay.
that little banner that's at the top where you clicked the deploy to Vercel,
Yeah.
there'll be a little next button to take you to the next screen of that banner in the bottom right of the banner there.
Right here?
Yep.
Okay.
Just copy that.
Okay. Don't look. Deploy. Okay. Now I'm going to come back. Cool. So just for reference, there was a part right here that was from Vercel that was like, hey, add it here. And so I clicked that, and now we're deploying. Okay, so that's starting.
So we'll have something coming out this week. So in the background to this live coding session, we are doing a launch week this week. And,
cool.
there will be a relevant announcement that I won't spoil for anyone later on in this week that will simplify this.
That's this. Oh, nice. Okay.
So stay tuned.
All right. You have us on our toes. Cool. So that's deploying. I guess I'll hit next. Explore the example. Cool. Okay. Oh, here we go. Okay. So cool. Okay. So it's the same thing. We've got our dashboard, but okay,
It's
cool.
just so you can host your own.
Nice. So let's see some logger examples. Okay, so we've got a logger class, data log. Oh, interesting. Okay, so it's pulling all this from like the requests.
Yeah. So what you'll see here is my failed attempt at writing TypeScript. So don't judge it too hard.
No judgment here.
But what I was talking about earlier with being able to capture all the contextual information with your
Right.
log, right? So obviously this is a example for a web app that's written in TypeScript using Next.js. And this
cool.
is all the information that might be useful as context of when you get an error. Hey, let's capture absolutely everything about the HTTP request that came in so we can start to get context about what happened.
Got it. Okay. Right. Like, maybe you're debugging something and you want to look at the user agent and you're like, what browser are you using? Or are you on an iPad? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So isbot is
How does
something
that
comes
work?
through from Next.
Oh, that's
have
cool.
No idea how it works. But they have something that tries to tell you whether or not they think it was a bot or not.
That's awesome. Okay. Cool. Okay, so and then we've got here, so that where you put your token, and then here's how you might use it. Cool. Nice. Okay, so the first argument is a string, second argument is the request. Cool. Nice. Okay, so that makes sense. So we have our dashboard deployed. So really the next thing then is to like build some sort of app where we're using this logger, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. So let's do that. So I've got like a browser-based, remote development IDE. So we're gonna switch over to that. And we will create a new Next.js app, which I always forget uh, what the command is. Okay, there we go. We'll do yarn create. So I'll switch over and we'll run this locally. And we'll call this Tinybird demo. Use ESLint, source. We won't use the app directory. We'll just hit default for the alias. Cool. And yeah, we will try this out.
Now we just need a little bit of hold music while the
exactly.
is downloaded.
Cool. So let me open this up. So Tinybird demo. Cool. Okay, and we'll start this up with yarn dev. Actually, I'm going to change OBS because we're going to be going between the browser and the IDE. Cool. That might be easier. Okay, cool. So we have our Next.js app. Where's that example? Okay. So we're actually just going to copy this and we'll go into source and we'll create a new folder called utils. Create a new file called logger.ts and we'll paste that in. And I think all that's good. We're just going to do a search. Okay, so we need to add our Tinybird token. So we'll come into here. I believe if we just call it .env.local. And then I'm going to paste this in. So I'm going to show you my face real quick. And I can just use al.token that I sent to Vercel.
Yeah, same token.
Okay. Let me add that in and then close this file and come back. Okay, cool. So we're good.
So
right, can you see my ID?
Yeah, we can see your screen again. One thing to change in that file into the logger.ts that you pasted in is again my bias for the EU region. So if you scroll down,
if
you go to the bottom and just change that to API.us-east.
Oh, just pasted my token on screen. Okay, well, we'll just
all of your hard work.
Literally, I hit the wrong button. Okay, there we go, like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hopefully nobody saw that. Cool. So yeah, so I guess let's try this out. So if we go to the, I don't know, index, let me hide that for now. And if we just import our logger and I guess we'll just do it up here. We'll do, well, so wait, does this return promise? Or yeah, they're all async. Okay, so let's just do like react.useEffect. And we will do logger log hello world. Oh, but this needs the request. Right, wait. Oh, sorry, wait. The first one is the request. Oh, right. Okay, wait. So this is server side. Sorry. So let's come into API. Here we'll go. Let me delete that. Come back here. And we will say, is there an async? No. Export default async. We will say await logger dot log. Pass in the request and then our message or log level. Wait, no, sorry. Let me read this.
So if you use the logger dot info warn
Oh, there we go. Okay. Logger dot info.
as the actual function. So if you call logger
Oh,
dot info, then the
I see.
log
It's
level is
inferred.
part of
That's
the
that's what I was thinking of. Okay.
That was again. I don't know if that is a style of API that people like. That was just um, if you want to go and rebuild the logger and do it so it's logger.log and you pass in a text for a log level, hey, go and do it, right? The kind of
Yeah,
the whole
yeah,
point of this starter kit is look, build it to whatever API makes sense for you. This is an example.
totally. Okay. So next request. So let's do that. Let's come in. Um, and let's come back here. And we want the request. And we will just do a find and replace with this. Because we're going to assume, at least in this application, we're going to use it on the like API routes. Cool. So returns promise, right? Okay. So that seems good to me. So if we go test our hello route, let's go back to the browser. And I think it, there we go. Okay, cool. Cool. Okay, so now if we go to our deployed dashboard, right, this one, then we should be, I'm going to hide my screen real quick. There should be a better way, honestly, but I can't think of one.
What we could probably do, to be honest, is make that token field on the dashboard a password field so that
Oh, yeah.
blanks it out. That probably would have been smart.
Okay. So here I have the dummy data. How do I get the data that hello world we just had?
Oh, well, this is interesting because it was generating. So we've generated some fake data.
Okay, okay.
Um, yeah. So your real data is probably there, but somewhere under all of the real data,
Okay.
all of the fake data.
What's the best way? Can we search by like this string? Like what did I?
So if you wanna just nuke out all of that fake data,
Yeah, let's do that actually.
and start. So if you just go on the left, where the data sources are at the bottom, and then there's the little three dots next to their names. Yeah, if you click on that little three dot, and then truncate. Yeah,
Okay.
just hit truncate again, and it'll just start deleting out all the rows. And
Cool.
then you want to do that for the materialized views on the left as well, below the logs one.
Sorry, where's that?
So each of those, you see where you just did it for logs, and then there's do it for all the ones
Oh,
below it as well,
okay.
because it's getting materialized into multiple.
Got it. Okay. Truncate. Cool. Okay. Cool. So I think I did all of them. Right. 0 rows, 0 rows, 0 rows. Cool. Okay. So now if we do it again.
Maybe a few more.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
At the bottom of that data sources side, there's browse data sources.
Oh, okay.
I think there's a couple more. So just one more at the bottom there. If you just click that one. And then in the top right, there's three dots, truncate again.
Okay.
There you go. That's all of them.
Okay, so now.
So now you're completely empty.
Okay. So if I refresh the page, Cool, a couple times. Should it show up here?
With any luck, we should see them coming in.
Hmm.
Uh,
So I guess where should I go? Log.
Sorry, I was just reading chat for a second there.
Okay.
So is that API route doing something? Did we add something to that API route?
I think so. We have this logger. So shouldn't it log it or?
Info.
Let's double check.
Yeah.
Oh. So next API request.
See, I don't know particularly what the difference between next request and next API request is.
Me neither.
I'm not.
JS API request first, next request. Server only helpers. Oh, this is used in the middleware and edge API routes. Where do people use this? Is this like?
So I've only ever tested this on actually deploying it to Vercel.
Any file is mapped to this and be treated. Wait, am I using the wrong?
Yeah, I don't really know what the difference between next request and next API request is. It seemed to work with next request.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's undo that change. If we come in here. Well, so that's what I wonder. If I just say, this is now a next request. Well, hey, well, I don't know.
I think it works.
I don't know how Next handles that. Okay, so question actually. If we go to the network tab, should there be a request to Tiny? No, wait, never mind. That won't make sense. Because the browser, it's not happening on the browser, it's happening on the server. Okay. So I wonder, okay, wait, so US East. So did I spell this all right? Is this all right?
Yeah, it looks okay.
And then the other question is am I using the right token? So which one should I use? The user token?
So the app token on the left there. So if you scroll down on this, you can see what scopes it's got. So it's got read scopes to all of the pipes. And then if you scroll down a bit more, it has global permissions to send data.
So should I try this one?
Yeah, you can use that token, yeah.
Okay.
If you use the admin token, then that should have, every single permission.
Right, okay. Cool. So everything else is the same. Refresh. Come back. Where were we? Okay. Yeah, what am I doing wrong here? Any ideas? What would you do to debug this?
So it's not sending, uh, uh,
Oh, wait.
and you're doing a.
There might be something here. Headers.get is not a function. Maybe it's upset with my.
Headers. Oh, interesting. In the logger TS, it's doing headers dot get as part of the request.
So let's comment that out for a second.
There's probably quite a few of them of headers request in there.
Oh, got it. Okay. Oh, got it. Okay. Oh, there's 26. Okay, let's just comment these out real quick.
Is that back to using a next request? I think we've lost Joe. This is going swimmingly. Now I need to do a little bit of a dance while we wait for Joe to get his internet back. Do we have any questions that I have missed? Hello, other Joe. I've seen an engine sorting key in the data source config. Yeah, so the engine sorting key that's in the data sources is how the data is sorted. So you can sort by one or more fields of the data. Uh, so, you could sort by the log level, for example. So you could have all of your uh, logs ordered by all of the info, and then all of the warn, and then all of the error. Um, and then if you were to say, hey, get me all of the info, it's much more efficient to then scan just the data to get all of the info and then not bother scanning any of the stuff once you get into warn or error. And then you can do multiple sorting keys. So not only you might sort it by the log level, but then sort it by time, right? So then you can say, hey, get me all of the data between X and Y for warn, and then you only have to scan specifically to that date range. Joe has just rejoined.
I don't know what happened there. My internet went down.
It's okay. It happens.
Oh, man.
It's the joys of live TV.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, I was saying I still don't get this whole like next server thing. I'm just gonna delete a bunch of stuff.
People saying my audio is low, so I've cranked it up a little bit and we'll see if that's any better.
Cool. Yeah, I guess that's something for me to look at after this is understanding the differences. Okay, so no compilation errors. So one row in quarantine. What is that?
Great. So what did you do to what did you change?
I deleted everything basically except these. So we have small data or whatever.
Okay,
Big data.
so the problem with that is that the reason it's going to quarantine is that the schema checking failed. So the logs data source, because we use the starter kit, the logs data source is pre-populated with a schema based on the assumption that you're using the starter kit, and thus you're sending data in the schema of what we put in the starter kit. So you can the easiest way to go and do this is, instead of deleting those rows, just go and replace them with a random dummy value so that they're still being sent but they're empty,
Oh,
assuming we
got it.
can't fix that headers.get function. Obviously, if you were not interested in those fields at all,
Yeah.
what you would do is you would actually go ahead and customize this. You'd customize the logger to only send the fields that you were interested in, and you'd customize the schema of the data source to only have the fields that you were actually sending.
Where does the schema live? Like, how would I change that if I was like, this is all I care about?
Yeah, so if you go into the project in Git or in VS Code, either way, and then under you're not in the starter kit
Oh, I have
here.
to
You're in
change it in
this
the
view app.
dashboard.
Well, you can change it in the. You can either like change it here, or you can change if you go into GitHub and actually look at the starter kit.
Remember?
You can just go to the public
Oh,
repo if you
okay.
want as well. I'll just show you where it is. We won't bother changing it here, but I think it's your two tabs along.
Oh, okay.
You've got it open, GitHub. Yeah, there you go. And then on the left in the navigation, okay, yeah, and then it's the Tinybird folder. Oh, sorry, I forgot to put your screen back in. Oh, that's me. There we go. Yeah, so it's in the Tinybird folder, and then data sources, and then logs.datasource.
Oh, got
And
it. Okay.
that's how it creates the schema. So you would go ahead and change that.
Got it. Okay. So that makes sense. I mean, I guess in the ideal world, like you'd have like a mono repo setup or something, and I don't know, it would
Yeah,
be all.
I mean, if you wanted to structure it as monorepo, nothing wrong with that.
So I went to longitude. So if we come in, okay, and then I guess if I just set these
So
to,
I think all
oh,
of these are okay.
would be what?
Well, unless so most of these should be okay. I think it was the headers request.headers.get is the function it wasn't finding for whatever reason.
Oh, well, then when I was importing user agent, it was getting upset as well, which I think like,
Do you um,
what is an easier way to type these? I guess we can just do the for now. Okay, so in the ideal world, obviously we wouldn't have to do this, but
yeah, so do you still have the import for user agent at the top?
I don't. I can add it back.
I mean, that's okay. The reason that like the OS dot stuff is not working is because that comes from that user agent stuff. But if you've already
Oh,
removed
got
that,
it, got it.
just you can forget about it.
Okay. So now it should be good, right? I have all the, or we have the request
Uh,
headers.
yeah. So this is all of these request.headers.get for some reason aren't working with what you've got, which
Yeah,
is odd because as far as I'm aware, it's part of this next request, right? So if you go
yeah.
down here, there should be a headers.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it's been removed, I don't know if
It's just,
this
I
is
have
some
no
sort of
idea.
experimental API that that has
So
changed since I built this.
yeah, let me just double check that it's still broken. Okay, yeah. Not like that.
So you can just replace all of those request.header lines with unknown.
Okay. Um, I wish if I knew regex, I would like totally do this a lot
I love
faster.
writing a bit of regex, but I don't know if it would go particularly well doing it live.
Probably not. Okay. Yeah. So I guess I'll definitely look at it myself, but trying to figure out what the difference is between the next server and all that. Maybe it's a new thing. Maybe just no idea. Okay,
I think
so 3
you've
more.
missed a comma there on cache control.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
See, it's nice when you're watching somebody else code because you can see when they've missed a comma, but it's when you're coding yourself and you miss a comma and you just cannot see it.
Right,
It's
right,
a nightmare.
exactly. Okay, well, hopefully request.geo is still a thing. Okay, so we'll see. So let me pull this up, come back, refresh, come back. Okay, compiled successfully. So now, cool, okay. Oh, wait, those are in quarantine.
No, this is still your quarantine. So that also went to quarantine. So
Oh, it doesn't have IP address.
if you missed a column,
Oh, I must, wait,
top one.
it's right there. Right?
Is it
That's weird.
is that coming through as null?
Oh, maybe, yeah. I guess. Right. Okay. Come back. Refresh.
So technically speaking, you can make these columns nullable and allow nulls to come through. We try to avoid it. Generally, the perform like having nulls can have a significant impact on performance. So we tend to go for, you know, fill it in with a default value rather than a null.
Got it. Okay. Value unknown is on column is bought is a string when a string was expected. But okay. Oh,
If you go back to logger.ts in the example in the original one that you've got open somewhere, what was it sending through for isbot? Sending isbot.
it must have been a Boolean, right?
Uh, I think it's a one or a zero actually. So if you just set
Oh.
through zero or one, yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay, here we go. Moment of truth. Hey, look at that.
Hey,
Nice. No. There we have our
it's all
event
un-
too.
it's all unknown.
Hey, but hello world, it's there. you know.
So this is the thing that I'm getting at, right? So
Okay.
like um the starter kit is opinionated, right? So it comes out of the box with
Yeah.
an opinionated example of a logger to say, hey, look, this is something that works if you're building a very specific thing of an Next.js app that's deployed in Vercel and you've got all these fields available. These are the kind of things you might want to capture. And
Totally.
then it's got an example for Python and Fast API, right, which has got a completely different logger because the fields that you get out of Fast API are completely different to the ones that are available with Vercel. And then I created another little fork of that, which is for the Godot game engine. So I
Oh
customized
yeah.
this to be a completely custom one of stuff you might want to capture if you are building a game and you have a completely different schema and you want to capture completely different information. So, you know, all of this stuff and messing about with schemas is the kind of thing that you would customize to be whatever you wanted it to be.
Got it. Okay. That makes more sense. And so typically that's data sources. Cool.
Yeah, so the one you're looking at the moment is the web analytics one, which is a
Okay.
very similar starter kit, but is for if you want to replace Google Analytics, you can take this starter kit and get an out of the box Google Analytics replacement.
Nice. Okay. Cool. Sweet. Well, we got it in right on time. Oh man.
Yeah, cool.
Nice.
So I mean, that is the nature of doing this off the cuff, I suppose. But we
Yeah,
got to a
exactly.
point where we got some data in, which is great.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I mean, like I love how versatile it is. I mean, once I understood where the schema was coming from and like how the different pieces play together, um, makes more sense. So
Yeah, absolutely. Like everything, there's a learning curve. Um, awesome. Well, I mean, we're pretty much at time. So unless anyone's got any extra questions that I didn't get to, uh, then we'll call it a day. Or any
gotcha.
final it's a final minute to shout about how much an amazing job we've done and what a wordy hour this was, and that you're so glad you came and joined us. We'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. You enjoyed struggling with us. I'm so I'm bummed though. Nobody, or at least I'm looking at the chat now. I don't see anybody say anything about next server. So maybe we'll have to look at the docs
Well, at
after.
least nobody jumped up and said, "You guys are idiots. This is obvious. This is why it's not working." Right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nobody
That's
else had a
true.
better idea.
That's true. Oh
Maybe it's not
man.
on us. Maybe it's just next being confusing.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, I mean, well, now I have to go figure out what it is. But yeah, because I mean, the API request runs on the server, so you think that Next server, but I guess maybe you have to do something to make it to tell Next that it's middleware or an Edge API route. I don't know.
Can't help you on that one. That's
Okay.
next
Nobody.
is something that I am just awful at.
Okay. Nobody knows.
Okie dokie. Well, it was awesome spending this hour with you, Joe. Thank you for coming. That was good fun.
Yeah. No.
I'll
Thanks, Alan. Thanks for struggling with me. It's fun to try the like off the cuff approach and see what we can get done in an hour. So.
Yeah, good fun.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone. Cheers for coming. Catch you
Thanks,
later.
all. See ya.